Dear chess friends, it finally happened. Stockfish 17, the latest version of Stockfish, did not win a TCEC event after a long time. Usually it was a brutal domination by the fish in any TCEC events, in any rapid blitz bullet events. It was always Stockfish who dominated over the competition with clear results. But now in the TCEC season 27 Swiss event, LCZero finished on the first place with a whole point more than Stockfish 17. I think it's a great thing for us. We need a certain competition in this AI events because we don't want to just follow one engine brutalizing all over again. Now Lila has also great chances in the following events that we'll see in this TCEC Premier Division and also in this TCEC Cup event. I think finally LCZero could have great chances against Stockfish and maybe also win other events. So I've sorted out now beautiful gameplay by the winner, by LCZero, against the KomodoDragon in a beautiful English opening. In my opinion, great strategic play again by Lila. I think these games by LCZero are more human-like. That's why I really love to cover them, because they're great games with great positional understanding. I think you will also like this one because Lila will apply bad bishop strategies, block position ideas, progressive breakthroughs, and similar stuff. So I think you can learn really many things in the games played by LCZero. So let's dive now into the game with the white pieces. Lila opened with the move c4. We have now knight to f6 by Dragon. We have knight to c3, e6, and now after move e4, we have now the Mikenas-Carls variation of the English opening. And now after move d6, d4, bishop to e7, knight to f3, knight to c6, and now bishop to e3. We have now a6 with some ideas to maybe hit the flanks. Then afterwards with the move b5, Lila continues with queen to c2, knight to g4 by Dragon, and now bishop to d2. Lila keeps, of course, the bishop pair on the board. Castling h3, kicking away the knight, and now again getting the bishop on this important square, because this move, bishop to e3, is very important for white to play again, because black could try maybe an idea like e5, and then after potential d5, you don't want to allow, of course, your opponent to hop with the knight in the center of the board. So it's very important to control so far the d4 square. Knight to b4 by Dragon, queen to b1, knight to c6, and now a3, again preventing knight to b4, and then again trying queen to c2, and then maybe rook to d1, bishop to e2, castling, and similar stuff. Normal setup then here for white. e5. Now comes this idea here by black. We have d5, and you see now you don't have any more access to the d4 square. We have now knight to b8 with the idea then to play knight to d7 and then hop with the knight on c5 and fixing the position, and also hit maybe here the pawn on e4. We have now bishop to e2. Now comes this idea by black. Lila develops the queen on a better square, and now a rook to e8. If something clears maybe here on the e file, then the king could be endangered. And here also with this rook to e8 move, Dragon is maybe hoping to get the knight on f8, maybe then to g6, and maybe in some ideas maybe to hop with the knight then afterwards on the weak f4 square in white's camp. We have now b4, g6, and now a4, and Lila goes immediately for the attack on the queen side. But this attack, it's such a beautiful positional idea here that LCZero plays. It is really a great strategic concept that Lila is doing here. Lila is hoping actually to get a block position on the queen side. I'll explain you what I mean about this. If you allow here ideas like, I don't know, c5, if you allow here just a great attack by white, I guarantee you black will not have a fun game if you allow here too much pressure on the queen side. So that's why, in order to stop this attack, Dragon had to play now the move a5. Lila plays now the move b5, allows now here the hop of the knight on c5, and you see now the position on the queen side is really blocked. There's not so much that can be done on the queen side, and Lila actually hoped to get this blocked position on the queen side in order to secure the king, or by playing queen side castling, not king side castling, which is, I think, such a great positional idea. Look at this, the position on the queen side, as I said, is really immobile. You cannot do so much on the queen side, and now it's a perfect site for you to secure the king, because nothing there can happen, and you have a flexibility to maybe launch then an attack on this side of the board. Really amazing positional stuff here by Lila. Lila continues first of all with g4. Here Dragon blocks out now the position on the king side with h5. Lila continues with g5, and now after move knight from f to d7, Lila castles on the queen side. And you see, you cannot open the position anymore on the queen side. If you try something like c6, seems tempting. Maybe you're trying, I don't know, to even sack some pawns just in order to open maybe the b file to get the queen into the game or something, to somehow threaten something on the queen side. It's not working because in this tactical sequence you could lose a piece also. You see, Leela secured really a great position for the king and has now a great attacking chances on the king side. Really great stuff. Queenside castling, we have now king to g7, rook to g1 with ideas like to play knight to h4. This pawn is a little bit loose, so that's why knight to h4, and in some lines also to play a very aggressive knight to f5. Maybe this is now the attacking goal, fixing the knight on f5 and making again open files here against black's king, maybe also somehow open the diagonals against black's king. So far the position is really blocked. There are not so many open files, open squares that you could get. I only see this progressive idea with knight to h4 and maybe then to help with the knight on f5. Here we have a rook to h8. Here Dragon includes now a new defender into the game. Dragon notices that there could be maybe a bad situation around the square h5 also. If, for instance, you do play carelessly, then in some lines I think we could even sacrifice the bishop here, getting the queen on h5, and then if the queen gets on h5, you could get a dangerous position here by black. So that's why rook to h8 keeps here so far the king secured. We have now king to b1. Leela improves now the position of the king, rook to h7, and now king to a2. See, Leela is so far securing the king on even a better score. It's not rushing with the attack on the king side. First of all, king security, and then striking with some tactics. We have bishop to f8, and now comes this idea that we have talked about, knight to h4 with the idea to play knight to f5 or king to g8, f3, fixing everything now here in the center of the board. Bishop to g7, rook to g2, connecting now the queen to the rook. You see also later why it was important to connect the queen to the rook, because here you want to of course play in some lines maybe a battery, but if something clears, the queen should be connected, because we will eventually play with the knight, we will maybe play with the bishop, but then the rook on g2 could be a little bit loose. So as I said, I will explain you later why this rook lift was so important here by LCZero. So we have now knight to b6, knight to f5, immediately hitting now the king side. What should you do? If you try here something like g takes f5, then the position is getting very dangerous. Look at this, e takes f5. You're trying to play something like f6. We play then bishop to c5, d takes c5. We pick up this one, then knight to e4, then something like this. White would simply continue the attacking flow. It's such a bad position. Queen to f4, then knight takes c5, rook to h8, and then rook to g1. Look at this, how important, as I said, was to play rook to g2 in the first place. Then you could have this amazing battery, and I think after a couple more moves, black would simply resign. So here, after knight to f5, you cannot pick up the knight. That's the issue. The knight is staying now on such a beautiful and active square in black's camp. We have now d takes bishop to f8. We have bishop to c5, d takes c5. Now, after this trades of pieces, notice now how the dark square bishop of blacks is neutralized, is blocked by its own pawns, which is not a good position for the dark square bishop. Black is continuing the game with the bishop pair, but we can say this is not an optimal bishop pair. The position is so blocked, the position is so static for black that you cannot simply include these bishops into the game. So it's, I think, a position that favors the knight. So that's why I think it was a good trade of pieces here by Leela to give up the bishop for knight on c5. We have now h4. Leela simply fixes now the structure here. Bishop to d7, bishop to d3. Again, keeping an eye on light squares. If something clears, then the position could crack simply around the square g6. We have now queen to e8, rook to e1, queen to d8, and now queen to f2, going for now the weak pawn on c5. c6 finally by Dragon. Now Dragon hopes to get some kind of an open game on this side of the board, but after a couple of moves, look at this, after knight to e3 and queen to c7, Leela simply traded off everything here, included now the rook into the game, and now after bishop to c8, queen to e1, there's not so much that can be done. Dragon is hoping to get some kind of an open position, but now after d takes c6 and queen to c6, there are simply too many holes in black's camp. First of all, the b5 is weak, square is weak, and also the d5 square is weak. And again, Leela would eventually just fix, cement the position in the center of the board, so there's simply no open space for the bishops of blacks. So it's not so easy to play with the bishops in these types of positions. So here strategically white is much better. The bishops of blacks are simply neutralized, they're simply out of game. We have now knight to d5. Leila hops with the knight on a beautiful square and has now also option to hop with this knight on b5. We have now bishop to a6, trying to do something with the light square bishop, but now rook to b2. And look at this, now Leila changed the direction of the attack, simply uses now the forces on the queen side, and black is really paralyzed now all over the board. We have now king to g7, king to a3. Leila can even further improve the king, really crazy position. We have now bishop to d6, knight to b5, rook to h8, and now queen to c3, placing the queen where already the king is. Leila is hoping now to get also this f4 breakthrough, and then maybe even the position here could be pressured further with the move f5. We have now rook to b8. Now comes this idea: bishop to f8, rook to f2, king to h8, and now f5. And look at this. With this move, Leila really neutralized the dark square bishop of blacks till the end of the game. Now after move f5, the pawn on e5 will never be mobile, the pawn on c5 will never be mobile again. So wherever you place your dark square bishop, this bishop is simply out of game. It's almost like white is playing here with an extra piece. And even if you try, I don't know, bishop to b5 here to go into I don't know, maybe opposite color bishops middle game, which usually should be drawish, again, I would say strategically, this is such a bad game. The position is opening up here. There's only one way to open a position, and that's exactly on the f file here. So only white has the flexibility somehow to open a position. After a takes b5, I think in some lines white could even secure the king here on a strange square on a4, and nothing dangerous could happen here in the position. This pawn is standing in the way of black's attack, so really again it would be a beautiful position here for white. So that's why for f5, bishop to b7 by the dragon engine, we have now rook to f1, and now again Leila has the flexibility to change simply the direction of the attack wherever the position is allowing you. B file attack, D file attack, F file attack, and black is just playing passive moves, is simply neutralized here by white's activity. Rook to d8, bishop to e2, king to g7, and now of course bishop to h5. Leila opens up now the position. There's only one way, as we said, to crack somehow here black's defense, and whatever you do, if you play here g takes h5, then queen to f3 is coming, and you cannot protect this position. We can even try f6. This pawn will be taken, this piece will be taken. Again, too much pressure here against black's king. In some lines, maybe this knight could come into the game. So whatever happens, black is, I think, simply lost here. Bishop to h5, we have king to h8 by dragon. Here Leila simply took also another pawn, and now after rook to f8, we have queen to h3. Great move again by Leila, hitting now the weak knight on d7. Rook to e8, now rook takes d7. We have now rook to f1. Here dragon hopes, of course, to deflect the queen now from the defense of the rook, but now Leila first of all plays rook takes g7, gives up now the rook for the bishop. Now of course dragon tries this in between check, king to b2, and now king takes g7. The issue here is that you cannot play rook takes a4. This is not working because you get this one, rook to h7, king to g8, and now queen to d7 is even a forced checkmate line, because if you don't want to get checkmated immediately, you have to now trade off the queens, but now you get this one. Now after knight to d7, now again knight to f6, and now after something like this, rook to f7 is a beautiful checkmate pattern by the beautiful knight and rook activity. So after king to b2, that's why king takes g7, king takes a1, and now bishop to c8, hitting the queen. But now again Leila c0 has a flexibility to attack the king from any side of the board. Queen to c3 again. It's now the weak pawn on e5, bishop to b7, bishop to g4, and now bishop to c8. Here Leila fixes the bishop. If you take, of course, then the pawns are rolling. We would have here 4 connected passers that are, of course, very dangerous here against black's king. So that's why here king to g8, Leila continues with the attack. We have king to g7, and now simply pushing the pawn. Here we have a couple of trays of pieces. Now the knights are finally dancing, and now the position is collapsing. Here knight to e7, dragon has to give up now the queen, and here after queen to f8, it was a beautiful checkmate by Leila c0. So Amazing strategic game here by Lila. Great attack, great paralyzing ideas, how to leave your opponent's pieces out of game, not allowing these bishops to come into the game. Beautiful also thematic idea to hop with the knight on f5. This move, knight to f5, you should really memorize. It's very often that you can play this types of position where the position is simply too blocked out, and then you're trying to search for any opportunities. Great game by LCZero, and Lila is now the deserved winner of the TCEC season 27. So, as I said, the first time after a long time now that Stockfish lost the tournament. I think, as I said in the beginning, it's a great thing for us. We need the competition. We need also improvements. This product, the Stockfish 17, is of course not the final product. It has plenty of room for improvement. We have seen also that there are some positional problems that Stockfish is facing, especially in blocked positions. Stockfish doesn't find sometimes the best solutions. Missed also a couple of tactical shots. So we'll see, of course, a new improvement of Stockfish, but we'll see also, of course, probably improvement by LCZero, and we'll see also probably a beautiful and epic rivalry between these two top engines. So, okay, I hope that you enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed it a lot. If you want to see some other beautiful games by Lila, where Lila also played some stunning sacrifices in order to reach the stalemate position, or where you want to see also great attacking ideas here by Stockfish, check out our Comta chess games played by computers. Here's the link of our playlist, and if you want to see more videos of this, you can also check out also our other commented chess games. And if you want to have an update every day what's going on in the AI chess world, please subscribe to my channel. See you soon with some more videos, and what do we say in the end? Chess is the best, of course.